All right. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's joining in live today. We're going to have some fun things to talk about today. All right. As people are starting to pile in here, welcome in. It's going to be a fun episode on the craziness of what is in the world here. What's up, Cody?
What's up, man?
So, yeah, we're going to talk about why you got more money than your favorite influencers. Let's see how many people we could piss off today.
Oh yeah, you do have more money than your average influencer, and that's your average influencer. A lot of them they rent these exotic cars, and people that buy these exotic cars and rent them out to those idiots are the one making money.
Yep. So as we get people in here, like and subscribe, follow us on YouTube and Twitter. We're live on all platforms. If you want to watch the replays, definitely go to Rumble and YouTube. The replays are there for everyone's enjoyment there. If you are new to us, we do this Wednesday night. We always kind of do cover like financial things, questions, frauds, things like that. But over every morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time, we do crypto chat where we talk about everything crypto related as well as business, stocks, investing, things like that. And then every Sunday we have what's in your portfolio. So
I know. I
anything.
just.
I'm
Oh, I'm
sorry. Go
sorry. I'm now at 1,400 Atom. Despite the SEC attacking Atom, I still up my bag of Atom. I wish I could put it on screen because I'm on iPhone, but I'm at 1,400 Atom now. I bought the dip.
There we go. Buy that dip, and it's open forum for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, definitely chime them in. Comment here on TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, you can certainly go in the chat and let us know. I'll try to get to all your comments. Once we do have some of our moderators that do come in, so they can help pin your comments. But give me some patience and bear with me as your comments kind of fly past the screen. So I'll try my best to get to everybody. But if everyone could like and subscribe. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Patreon. You can sign up for it. I'm going to start putting on certain content. There's going to be only the interviews with people I network with, business owners, things like that will all be on there, as well as more in-depth dives of everything of crypto and things I've been looking into and things like that, as well as you can sign up for the $50 one too if you wanted to have help with your portfolio. Just remember, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm a licensed broker, so we view things a little differently. So just keep that in mind. I'm more of a trading focus, and all I do is I get paid to execute your trades. That's basically it. If I can tell you how to read graphs or help you analyze but I do have a fiduciary responsibility to point out if something is a scam to you. So if you're worried about that, you can definitely come to me and we can definitely ask those questions. Certainly know that finance is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. So it's just a one-on-one chat. It's very private. You can definitely join in.
Yeah, and even though I just bought up to 1,400 Atom, that's not a play I would recommend to everybody. That's just at my own risk
Mm-hmm.
because the SEC did target them as a security. And that doesn't mean it's a scam or a rug pull. It just means that they haven't even like gone to court yet. This could go on for another like few years. Wouldn't Atom pass the statute of limitations since it came out in 2019?
Yeah. No, I think it's five. I think it's 5 years for statute of limitations.
I mean, that was in 2017. I think the ICO was.
27, so one, two, three. Yeah, we're about 6 years. So yeah, it's coming past it. It'll probably get thrown out in court.
I would hope so, but then again, Atom went public on the market in 2019.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our main thing was we were just gonna quickly chat about why you guys have more money than your favorite influencer, and there's a lot of crazy things that people do to fake it, and I think the pandemic and a lot of things kind of showcase a lot of wrong ways about how people gain wealth and things like that, and it's really interesting to see. So, but one of the things I want to talk about is like you don't like a lot of people don't really understand like a lot of this stuff can get rented. A lot of it can be faked. There are people that I know of that own private jets, and they basically capitalize on it by having people come to their hangar when they're not using it to just take pictures. I think it's something like they charge like $500 or $600 an hour. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a guy out in LA. I told you guys about LA. There's a guy out in LA that does what was it called? He had like a whole studio that it looked like a private jet, but it was entirely fake. It's like there's crazy how much people are effort are putting in there. Shout out to Surgic Banger. Told you about High Seals. Look what it did. Now I got another trade. He's always giving you guys some free advice in the trade in the chat there. I'm not a lot of it's meme coins. I'm not really into it if I can't store it on my hard wallet. I'm thinking more now for long term plays. But if that's what you're looking for, then make sure that you invest and do your due diligence and only risk what you're willing to lose on anything like that. But hey, shout out to Sergio Banger. Welcome back. Really love your support and everything. Glad to have you back in on the chat for us. As we got a decent amount of people coming in and out of here. Hopefully, you guys can stay here. But I think there was one girl. She's about ready. I wanted to cover, but now I forget her freaking name. So I forget her YouTube name. But it's kind of like it was like, okay, where did you really come across? Shout out to Surgic Banger. Did you see Across the Spider Verse? Really good movie. I have not actually.
I'm about to go see that in like at 9:30 actually.
Yep, Cody's about to go see it.
I'm glad somebody brought that up because I'm going on a date tonight to go see that. So it's gonna be. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, so have I. So I've heard really good things about it. So I'm kind of hoping that it comes out soon on streaming because I really don't have time to go to the movies. Like even after the stream, I gotta go back to doing stuff with my moving company. But you guys feel free, shout out your questions, put your stuff in the chat. We're gonna go over a little bit of stuff while I try to find this person I was talking about. But so far in the crypto world, I know that you guys probably got wrecked. A lot of things got wrecked by the SEC, just like taking a shotgun and shotgun blasting the cryptoverse. Lot they're just throwing some hail marys because they're about ready to lose the XRP case. It's definitely on the horizon that it's.
Yeah, they want to call something else a security when FXRP takes that dub.
Yep. So what a lot of people don't know is what they did was they threw a bunch of hail marys so that all those companies and coins and everything could go into litigation, and then they're going to get stuck there even if they get thrown out. It's now they got to go through all the litigation, go through the process, hire attorneys, and it was a degenerate move on the SEC nonetheless. Absolute degeneracy to do it, but I understand from their point they're just going to cash their hail mary and they have a job to do in their mind and they're going to get it done.
Well,
So,
here's
but
the thing: by the time they take the Cosmos, I'm talking. I know they list Solana and other things, but
mhm.
specifically for Cosmos, because I hold a lot of Atom. By the time this does go to court, or let's say by the time there's almost a conclusion for the case, that could be 2 years from now. Wouldn't that still be the statute of limitations, even if the ICO was in 2017 and it came out in 2019? Like
Yes and no.
giving it another 2 years.
Yes and no, because it depends on when the victim was made.
Oh,
If that
okay.
makes sense. Like if they perceive that the latest victim was like a year ago, then they can start prosecuting, but they can only claw back from that point up to whatever the statute of limitations is.
Gotcha. Well, ETH has definitely surpassed that for sure, so it can't ever be called a
Yeah,
security.
the ETH case, they basically lost ETH. I don't think that I don't think they're going to win or do anything really with
They
that.
can't do anything to Ethereum.
Yep. They kind of got XRP and Ripple at the almost at the end of the buzzer. and then they've been dragging it out for several years. So now that it's coming to that where you're going to lose, they're going to lose that case. They're trying to save their ass and just throw a bunch of Hail Marys over. And now they're messing up with the things. But getting back to like all these YouTubers, like I don't like shit. I don't like.
And then that
What the?
happens.
What is that?
Give me 1 second here.
That's America's housing market.
So should you buy a house right now or should you
Andre
wait?
Dick.
That is
My
one of the
bad
big
here. My bad, everybody. It kind of
We got Andre jicked.
yep. So I kind of want to explain how some of these guys come about. Like he makes some good points, which is kind of like the caveat to get people in there. Now I wouldn't necessarily say because there's a lot of people out there that are completely asinine and fake, but you got to understand like he does more financial news than he does financial help. He admits on several streams that he never was a financial advisor. Sometimes he's not a financial advisor, but he's giving you financial information, and a lot of people make statements because like a lot of his like if you go back about a year on his videos, a lot of his are less news and more about make this in a day, make that in a day, uh, 10x here, 10x there. But lately he's been doing like just a lot of news, which is really what he's more suited for is a lot of news channels. But he does a great job at packaging it and sending it to you guys. But the thing is that he's not a financial advisor. So this
None
is
of us
where
are either.
this is where it comes in. Like I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm a licensed broker. I have my Series 7. I was a trader for a capital firm, things like that. So I know what to do and what to look for. There's certain things that you can do. So, but shout out to Bazookus. I hope I got that one right. Let's add multiple lives together with mirrors like recording ones. Absolutely. Sometimes you just gotta raise. He has, you don't. Um, it's kind of like one of those things, and it's like there was like he's more of a financial news. So I want to kind of separate what what happened with especially with the FTX scandal. So this is what you got to be if you want to be in the financial news place, which you don't have to have a license to be in financial news. You just have to understand financial news to be in it. So if you're reporting just the news and giving your opinion, you can certainly do that. But where it kind of got crazy was like he's kind of getting lumped in. Shout out to Big Dog. What's up? I'm not criticizing his success, buddy. I got my own success. I have several moving companies, a lot of things I do. But I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of things that you got to learn to go into crypto here. So, and that you can't really go off of everything. Now, Andrew Jack is definitely he did do a good job of making his channel, growing it, and giving you a lot of news, which is good because he gets the news faster than even what's his name, Meet Kevin. Like he gets his videos out, gets the information to you faster, um, gets a lot of things out quicker, and he kind of gives you more of an average person's viewpoint, not a financial, not someone who's been in the financing industry for 30 years viewpoint. Um, so, shout out to Valton. What is your take on the Ripple case? We kind of just went over that a little bit, but we can go over it again. We really think it's going to come to a win for Ripple, and we think I believe it pressured the SEC into casting some Hail Marys because they're about to lose. Now, whether we get a final determination on that case, I don't know. Um, we just have to kind of have to take things as we go. But I do think that the SEC is feeling the pressure. The Ripple is going to win that case. XRP will get relisted, of course, and because it really is a digital currency, not really a. It doesn't follow the suit as a investment because the value. I mean, people. You're not like it's not doing. It doesn't fit the narrative for an investment. And I really think it's going to be, you're going to need XRP to start using Web3 and things like that. That's why I recommend everyone have a little bit of XRP, because you're going to start needing it. But as far as Ripple beating the crap out of SEC, it's absolutely going to happen. I know Judge Torres, from what we read about, Judge Torres, Judge Torres is on the side of Ripple, it seems. So we seem like we have a good thing here. Damon Hirst, I can look that person up in just a little bit here, and we can go over there, because I know there's a lot of guys that are really good. Like there's one guy, he was boring as hell on here about stocks, and he was doing it for like 15 years, and he got hired as like a high level analyst for a big firm off of his YouTube channel, and he really gave solid information and things. But his channel was never popular. Like he didn't have the charisma like this Andre Jack has. He has a lot of charisma, which comes from his showmanship, which helps deliver the information. Now, if you want to know some financial news, he is definitely the guy you should have in your YouTube subscription repertoire if you're looking to get news quickly, because usually he'll get a video out, like he'll have it already out in overnight about something you just heard of, and he'll already have a video about it. So he can get something out pretty quickly about news and everything, but you got to take his opinions about economics and everything just with a grain of salt, because he is more of an average person, not someone that's really into that space. But he definitely, if you want the news, he gets it faster than any of them out there. Any of them out there. But let's take a look at what's his name, Damon. I know there's a couple there that a lot of people don't like. Um, I can't say that I ever really paid attention to him or anything like that. But there was, what was it, the one guy? Oh my god, I know what's his name, Strongman Financial, Strongman Personal Finance. I think he did a video about him. There he is, Jeremy. Uh, so it's just one of those things. Like you got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. Now he's an actual licensed individual and certified person to that talks about things, but like I said, he talks about it in a rather boring manner, so it doesn't catch you right away. But some of the things he can talk about are truth, and but you also got to realize he's only giving his opinion based on his experience and everything else like that. But like I came across, someone brought up a YouTuber today, and it's like it's clear as day, like where they were coming from. So I'm gonna have to find that one for you. Let me yeah, I think one other YouTuber did a video about him, and her up. Oh yeah, he just released a video about it. Okay, so let me share this screen, because this was the lady I was actually about to talk about, and it's like
You want to get into Graham Stephan as well?
uh, Graham Stephan. I think he had a good opinion. He had a In the beginning, it was about what he did in real estate, which he owns real estate and rents it out, although he buys high end properties to rent out, which I don't think you really necessarily need to do. But the thing about it is, even Grand Stefan, they had that Millennial Money channel that was heavily propped up and promoted FTX and everything. And now they took it down immediately when November hit and SPF got arrested and FTX went under. What you guys don't understand is that that right there is where he crossed the line, because him, Andrew Jack, everybody, that's where they cross the line. That's where I said you got to be very, very, very careful, because even myself, as having a Series 7, I can't go to you and say, hey, you're going to get this. I can't guarantee gains. I can't guarantee profit. I can't guarantee a lot of stuff. All I can say is I will do my best to help you out and steer you clear of any pitfalls and help you make as much as you can. That is how every financial person, in whether you're a broker or a financial advisor, financial advisors take it a step further than brokers, but I'm not going to do a trade that I know hurts you. I'm legally not allowed to do it. I have to report it and say, hey, I think this is a scam. You guys should look into it. Like, we have to report it no matter what. But the thing was, is that they brought him on. They did a lot of interviews. Then all of a sudden, they deleted everything. Bad sign. One off
Yeah,
sign. When if
yeah.
someone
That
deletes
FTX
everything,
thing could definitely hurt Graham like
Mhm.
heavily.
So what people don't understand is that now he's implicated in that, and he can hit the money he earned, and money he earned on millennial money can be clawed back. Same thing with Andre Jack. Same thing with everything, and that's very very hard. So now they have to fight the case to say, hey, it was earned income, not ill-gotten gains. But when a trustee from the SEC or any of these cases look, they don't really care. They'll take ill-gotten gains and they can mark up any financial improvement from in those years as ill-gotten gains. So they can even consider his earnings from his YouTube as ill-gotten gains. Like, it can go that far. That's where you got to be careful. But the biggest ones going out here is like, you got this lady here, Kelly, and I kind of want to look that one up too, look her up too. But that was the lady I was talking about, where like there's so many people that got the PPP loan scams and then acted like they laundered it through investments to make it look like they were a successful trader. And it's like, look, I could tell you right now, even when I was 18, 19, 20, when I was just got my license at 21, I sucked. I was terrible. I lost a lot of money on my personal stuff. I had every trade overlooked. You make really high risk, stupid moves, and that's not how it works. And unfortunately, what they're able to portray is that you see it, so you think it's real, and it's trust me, staging is an entire industry. Like, I know a few guys that live up here that do a lot of their business down in Miami. One guy, he rents out rentals for people just to take pictures of and posing.
Yeah, people will literally pay for an Instagram post.
Hey, Black Chip, I'm sorry to hear that. I bet you should go seek some help if that's the case. But
What was
hey,
the comment? Oh,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask what the comment was.
Oh, it's just a degenerate comment. But hey, you
Oh,
could do
okay.
whatever you want. It's a free country. That's between you and God. Like, I'm just a broker, a licensed broker. So you do whatever you think is necessary in your life. But I wouldn't recommend it, and I would seek help. Do whatever you got to do to seek help. But like I said, we all been in dark places. I've been in dark places too. I've been divorced and had everything taken from me and was in a ditch, literal ditch. So if I can make it back, you can. So if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But then you gotta start doing it and turning shit around if you want things to happen. So if you want to put comments laid out, just respond to you with my real world experience, and you can go from there. But as far as we're talking about all this scamming, like, I could tell you right away. Like, I saw a couple of these guys, like that guy, Mr. Organic. That was the number one thing. Every single worker I had was like one of them. Definitely every season, every summer of every moving season was like talking about Mr. Organic and how he's doing this and he's doing that, but it's like, dude, that's all rented. The property's rented. The everything, his whole entire lifestyle is rented, and you're trying to work to that level, and he didn't even work to that level. He's making money off of your views to get there, and that's not to say that's a perfectly fine business model. And if I was in that position, I would take the money and then reinvest and build to what you want to, so that way you can actually enjoy those things. But unfortunately, it's but I don't I just what I don't like is when they talk down to you guys, because you guys are trying to find someone to get advice and grow and build financially, and these guys are just degenerates in their lives. Like, I sat through a couple lives. Oh my God, they harass. I'm like, why would you want to sit here and think that this person's going to help you? And all they did was insult you the whole live stream. I mean, called you out, insult you. It's like that's not how you run. That's not how you're going to help someone financially. Especially since finances is a very tough subject for everybody nowadays.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let me just go ahead and get this moved here. But I know there's a lot here. Alrighty. I know that there's a lot that's going on right now, but I'm telling you that this stuff is going is like getting it's starting to catch up with these guys. Like one guy, he already is one YouTuber is already going to jail for quite a while from a PPP loan fraud. I think like there's a couple that all of a sudden decide to change cities where they're doing their views and things like that from, and it's just absolutely crazy what people will do to make it think like you're doing this wild success. And then when you look at the videos now, you're like, okay, so what happened to everything else? Now all of a sudden you're down in the dregs, and you're not saying, hey, look, my YouTube channel. I'm telling you, all these people that were scamming you kind of got washed out because COVID ended, the free money ended, and then YouTube cut advertising revenue, and now all of them are just kind of hurting from it.
Yeah, the free money, that 0% is gone.
hmm but let me tell you something. Not even like, because there's like things like I know a lot of people are covering right now. Dave Ramsey, his $150 million lawsuit, and it just goes to show you like when these scammers come to a lot of these YouTubers, you got to realize that a scammer is most likely smarter than most people. They're not dumb by any means. They are very intelligent individuals, and they fool other intelligent individuals to get them to pitch, and they kind of wiggle their way into it. So it's like I think Dave Ramsey just didn't do his enough research to figure it out,
They
and that
played
left
him
him.
in schools.
I'm sorry.
They played him when I was in school. My finance teacher used to play him.
Yeah, and a lot of his advice is really solid advice. I mean, a lot of it did work really well 30 years ago, but it still holds up today. However, unfortunately, like just a simple lack of due diligence can cause you great harm, and that's where this is coming from. And this kind of goes to show you how I wanted to show you how like these investment scammers and everything, they're very smart. Do not discredit how intelligent they are. They can get people who are smart. It's like I would have never thought Dave Ramsey would be stuck in this situation, but that goes to show you how smart the scammers were to
What's his
wiggle their way
situation?
in. I'm sorry, Cody. What were you
What's
saying?
his, what's his situation again?
Um, He was pitching for 2 years, like a company about a timeshare that they would help get people out of bad timeshare agreements and things like that, and they turned out to be a scam, and they're just basically taking money, and they were funneling like $500,000 a month to Ramsey for promoting their product or their services. But it's also a thing he was never mentioned he never mentioned that he was a paid promoter. He just like promoted the service. And it sucks, trust me, because like I know you like guys, you're in shock and awe sometimes when you hear like, no, that makes any sense. You're just a hater. It's like, no, no, no. I'll pull this up again. I'll pull up my Bentley purchase order again with my name on it. I'll gladly pull up all that stuff. So here it is. Here's all my stuff. But but I'm trying to point out is like because people always say like how can you fall for that scam and things like that, like with the Bernie Madoff error. People always say, well, how could you fall for it? You should have known. And you really can't. Like Bernie Madoff was intelligent enough to be able to figure out how he could build your trust. That's why they're called con man for a reason. It's shorthand for confidence man. They gain your confidence by mimicking your aura and your success and your presence. So that's how they're able to lure people in. And there's a lot of smart people, they get caught up in it. A lot of people get caught up in it. So, but also with this lawsuit with Dave Ramsey, it's really the other side trying to get money back for the victims, and they think one of the best ways is because he's the big fish in the pond. They're going to go after him, just like Shaq. What's the other Mark Wahlberg? All the celebrities that promoted FTX and everything, they're clawing them back. They're trying to get that money back.
That's why they're going after Binance, because they're trying to get the
Exactly.
FTX money back.
Yep. They're trying the trustee will sue and bring anyone to court that they have to get that money back for the victims of the case. And that's all that really is they're suing to get that 150 million to put back into the pot to distribute back and make victims whole again. But unfortunately, the only thing is that Dave Ramsey can fight it, but most likely he's going to settle for undisclosed amount out of court with it. That's what's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen about a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years from now, things like that. It won't really affect him, but other than he might lose some market confidence, people might not have as much confidence in what he's saying is a good route to go, but it's just one of those things you just have to they have to do their due diligence and things like that. Um, like another guy that's really good at pointing them out is like that guy Spencer. Although he did some degenerate things, but they all kind of are in that area where they like they're all, like he was part of with that group with FTX with the millennial people promoting FTX like Meet Kevin, Andre Jack, and Stephen Graham. I think he tried to go away from it, but it's one of those things like you have to do your due diligence. But you got to remember, guys, scammers know if I wave a big enough carrot in front of you, I can get you to forget about anything, and that's basically what they did. I think even Kevin O'Leary was a victim of that. But there's a lot of people that have just been promoting. Um, he Spencer Cornelia has a lot of YouTube, I should say Instagram influencers that were promoting pump and dumps and things like that. So, you know, you can watch his channel. There's quite a few out there. What I wanted to say though is like you guys are really richer than your probably your favorite rapper, your favorite artist, your favorite influencer. You probably guys don't know it because a lot of them are like it's a fake it till you make it. Even in business, it's fake it till you make it a lot of times. And I can't tell you how many people have showed up with more than what I have had, but didn't last as long. Like there was a guy that he started his moving company right at the same time as me, about 5 years ago. He took all my low end discount furniture store contracts for delivery. He took a lot of stuff from me, right? So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing my grind, keep focusing on the high end clients, go lead with service, not with price, and get a fair value for what we are worth. And what happened was, I was watching him, and he had rapid success. I mean, he bought his wife a Range Rover. He was living in the high end area in town. He bought a new house. Then all of a sudden, then he had a Corvette. He was getting all these nice cars. He bought like $140,000 uh, raised up Silverado. So it's like it looked like okay, everything's going good for him. He's like, yeah, I'm raking in money. I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this. But then all of a sudden, about 2 years ago, I look, I'm doing my comp shopping, and I look, and his company's gone. And like I said, he was faking it till he made it. Like the house that it looked like he bought, he rented. The Corvette that we went out to a business meeting with, that we were going to a meeting with, that we kind of sat down, had dinner, we're talking things out. He came out, drove in a Corvette. Corvette was rented. Everything was rented. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's like a lot of people, like the ones that have hardly anything to show, probably are the hardest working. And if you think so, because even there was a guy there that said he had to sell all of his jewelry, but it was all rented and it was all fake. It was the fake gold with with the not even Swarovski crystals or engineered diamonds. They were the fake crystals that look like they're really expensive, but they're not. They're just like fake, real quick crystals that they manufacture in a lab. And it's like and he's talking all this thing, and these guys just give you gibberish. There's a lot out there. There are a lot out there, and it's unfortunate because it's easy to give a little bit of advice and just kind of like talk in circles around that before you really get some solid advice. And it's not to say like I'll be truthful. You look at all my live streams. I'll tell you when I don't know something, and I have to go look it up. Like you can't possibly know everything or be involved in everything. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things. But you also got to remember, like, if they don't look like they can be on the cover of a Wall Street Journal, then they probably aren't a good person to take investment advice from. Especially if, because like I haven't seen anyone make a lot of money, even people who've been in the hip hop industry. They talk very concisely and correct. They don't speak in broken English. They speak very properly. They speak properly. That's what I'm trying to get at. And it's like you can't you can't take the ones that are just kind of like showboating and saying, well, that's how real wealthy people is. Like that's not how wealthy people do it. You've probably all of us have probably met a billionaire without even knowing we met a billionaire. That's how average they look. Like
Exactly.
Cody, I've been talking for a while. Do you got any thoughts on this here?
I will say I am about to leave to go see that movie, but I agree with you 100%. Most rich people, they don't want you to know that you have money. You know, they don't want you to know. They'd rather you not know because they don't want people asking for stuff.
Absolutely. And shout out to NG Dubs. Richard Hart has done older interviews and debates with a lot of the crypto influencers before any of it happened. They're pretty good. Some are, like I said, some are just they kind of tell you exactly what they are, which I don't think Richard Hart really was slinging anything. Not as bad as some of these others. I mean, one guy, he's under arrest for defrauding, not only defrauding the federal government on PPP loans, but he signed his father's name without his knowledge on forms to represent as a business owner, and signed the tax forms with an accountant that he knew to those. So it's like that's the level that they do. Like there's one guy in the red pill industry, in the red pill space, that put out a bunch of wrote fraudulent checks under his father's name. It's like it's like you got to be careful with that. But there are people that say, "Hey, look, I did it. I made a mistake. I owned up to it. But here's how. Here's what I did to survive it." Like what was his name? I know what was his name? Cali Muscle. He's one of the guys. He doesn't give a lot of financial advice, but he straight up tells you, "Hey, look, I was in jail for this crap, and this is what you should do to avoid it." But he has a lot of people have an uneducated mind as to what the agencies view as a negative, as a felony behavior, I guess you could say. And that's where I try to help people out. Like I talked to someone earlier today who was thinking about starting a channel about day trading crypto, and I said, well, you got to be very careful because you have to, if you're just showing what you're doing with your money, then you are 100% in the clear because you're just saying, hey, look, this is what I'm doing with my money. I don't recommend that you do any of this, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing and what I'm trading with. And in crypto, I tell you guys, I have my personal money in. So there's no, like, if everybody loses money, I'm gonna lose money right
Me
with
and
you. If
Sal
not,
both have personal money in.
yeah, exactly. But but it's because it's like I keep seeing these guys, and it's like, oh, the other day, 2 days ago, right? Young black guy comes up to me. He works in my St. Louis office, right? So out in St. Louis doing you know working at that site, trying to get everything in order there. He comes up to me. He's a hard worker, absolutely a hard worker. Really, a lot of potential in his life and where he's going. But he comes to me saying, "Hey Sal, I know that you're good with business and real estate. I need you. Like this guy says that we can get on this property, make a lot of money. He just needs 10,000 from me." And it's like, so I had to teach them, like, why would anyone need money from you if they're already going to have a good deal to make a lot of money?
Exactly.
Now, it could be someone saying, hey, I have a great business to start. I don't have the capital, but you do. Can I tell you what I want to do? And you decide if you invest. That's fine. But no one needs you to put $10,000 down on a property to make all this obscene amount of money real quick. Like that basically is. And if they say, "Oh, just give it straight to me, send it to me via Cash App, send it Venmo," send it right in the comments as services. Like, no, it's still theft. It's you just got it through fraudulent, ill-gotten gains. That's basically how it is, and that's unfortunate because I see these guys as soon as they get us some money, they think like this is a you have to do this to get wealthy, and that's not how you do it. Everyone that I've met that's been super wealthy has gotten it through long time games. Like even my mentor, after World War II, he went in, started a construction company, failed, started again, failed again, started again, failed again. Fourth time, he started a business and he started an answering service company. He seemed to have struck gold and started doing things the right way. Like you will fail. You will absolutely fail sometimes. Even my first business, I failed at. We were trying to start a supply company to do intermediate. This was back in the late 90s, so we were trying to do a supply chain company, like just temporarily hold merchandise and then ship it out to retailers. And one business partner slept with the other business partner's wife, and then boom, the company imploded. And I was only 21 at the time. Next business, mortgage lending company. We're buying properties, rehabbing them, and doing subprime lending. Failed again because everybody saw the amount of money in the pot and wanted to pull all the money out. Business collapsed. Now, after I suffered a massive divorce, I moved on to saying, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a moving company. Start this." My third time, I finally hit that success, and it was after about 15 years of making I wouldn't say bad decisions. Some were bad decisions. I definitely picked bad people to become business partners with, but I made some bad decisions. I made some uneducated decisions, and I made some wrong decisions. And that's how you learn. You have to learn from those mistakes. Fortunately for me, I have the ability to lose a great amount of money and capital and be able to recover because I don't have kids to take care of. So like you got to keep that in mind. But there's a lot of people out there that are telling you, don't ever do a 9 to 5. I'm going to tell you right now, do a 9 to 5. You don't want to start a business, especially if you're young. You don't have enough experience. Go work for someone else, become a manager, work into upper management, play with their money, and make mistakes with their money before you make mistakes with your money. Also, understand how a 9 to 5 really works. Shout out to Dirty South. Never do a 9 to 5. I got a question for if you want guys, anyone who's coming in. What do you think about what a 9 to 5 actually is? Because I know a lot of people think that a 9 to 5 you can't get wealthy, but it's your mentality that holds you back. Like I worked a 9 to 5 before starting this. I was just a sales manager for a furniture company, and I made ridiculously close to like I think my average year there was 280,000 in commissions. Um, Shout out to Papi Chulo. I hope I got that right. I'm bad at pronouncing names, so I hope I get that right. It says a 9 to 5 is slavery. It can be if you're working a job because you need the money to pay your bills, Or you could say, hey, let me get my bills down and get my finances in order so I can then work a job that I enjoy. Because if you enjoy being a marine biologist, you're never going to make a lot of money, but you can do something that's very fulfilling. And in 30 years, you will have a nice nest egg if you manage your life right. Unfortunately, I know a lot of you young, especially younger millennials, Gen Zers, it seems like the 9 to 5 route is servitude, and it's really not. But you can get experience working for people. But you also got to understand that 9 to 5, you have to be building at that 9 to 5. You can't just clock in, clock out. Find a way to get better. Find a way to figure it out. But if you cannot put, I always say this, if you can't put 110% for someone else, then you'll never put 100% in for yourself. So, for example, I met someone, she always was late. Always was late. 15 minutes, and it would always work up to like an hour late, and then she would get fired. And her excuse was, well, I'm not working for myself. I'm always going to work for someone else. I'm always going to do something for someone else. I'm never going to give my full for someone else. But if I do it for myself, I will be there for myself 100% of the time. Okay. She starts a boutique shop, a clothing store, never gets off the ground. Why? Because she doesn't have the mentality to say, hey, look, I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get shit done. No. She wants to say, I could start my day whenever I feel like it. Mm-mm. I run a business. I run multiple businesses. I don't start at like a typical 9 day. I'm up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, or 2 o'clock in the morning. Someone's calling me saying, hey, a client doesn't want to pay. Something happened. Truck broke down. This happened. I got a manager saying, my assistant manager's not answering. My operations manager quit. You know, it's that's where you guys got to start out with. And what you guys got to understand is like, you guys think like all this, the fancy parts, like the Lambos, the Ferraris, all of that. When I was 20, those suckers were going bankrupt. Why? Because there's not enough wealthy people to keep them afloat. Like my mentor, he bought a Bentley and he kept it for 30 years. Why does he need it? What else is he going to get? He has it, he liked it, he earned it, he kept it. And that's how most people are. And you're never like, there are a few car enthusiasts that they really like cars, they like supercars, hypercars, all that fun stuff. And yeah, that's the life they live. But most of us, we got to work a 9 to 5 to build our experience, save our money, have reserves in case, because when you start a business, you're going to go a couple years without having to do any make sure that you get your money, you get all your experience and all your money in without having to do a lot of risk. Because if you start a business, you might have to go 3-4 months or 3-4 years without paying yourself. So shout out to Big Dog. If 9 to 5 if 9 to 5 go, the world will be over. People got to understand that everyone can't be a boss. Absolutely. Can't have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Shout out to Dirty South again. All you have to do is be smart. Haircut is $30 in 25 minutes. People get paid normally $20 an hour. And well, it depends, but can you build up your reputation? That's the hardest part. Like the guy I started a detail shop with kind of had the same thing, same forecast. You know, it was he said like, oh, I'm gonna make all this money. I'm gonna have a lot of clients, and in the first 3 months we had a loss, significant loss, not even enough to pay rent, and we had to do a lot of marketing, a lot of things to get it going. And he learned like, okay, you just because you say it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come to fruition. You got to make it so that why is someone to come to you to detail their car? So it's the same thing. Why does someone have to come to you to cut your hair? I mean, what do you do when you mess up too many people's haircuts? What do you do if the hydraulics on the chair break and they fall out of it? Do you have that? Are you covered for that? There's a lot of crazy things. It's not as simple as a lot of young people think. And when you get out there, that's why you guys get frustrated because like, man, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna change it. And you get out there, you got high energy, and you get there, and it's like nothing changed. World doesn't even change. World doesn't even some wars can't change how the world moves and keeps going. So that's what you guys gotta understand. But you can definitely cut hair on the side, do a little bit, get that extra money, start investing, but that's not going to get you to a net worth of $100 million or even $1 million. It will get you to it will get you to maybe 1 million in maybe 20 years. And well, if you're telling me that you got a 18K Cartier Santos watch off of cutting hair, then you have to do either one things. You're either doing high end clients where they're paying you $1,200, $1,500 a pop, and you're most likely traveling to them. But if you're out here in like Northwest Arkansas, I can tell you right now, it's going to be you'd have to own several salons, be able to have the cash flow to waste that money on that thing. So, and unfortunately, if you did do it, you might want to check it because a lot of times there have been a lot of fakes out in the market. One of the guys in my group of colleagues that we do business with together, he runs a jewelry dealer and sells Rolexes and things and AP watches, and he says he gets a lot of people who thought they were real turned out to be fake, and which is crazy is they got that stuff for the real price, and that's just a whole nother thing. Shout out to Big Dog. I thought he was like 25. I wish that was a really, 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 really a long time ago for me. But I'm going to be almost 40. Uh, well, shout out to you, Dirty South. You're really lost, bro. Hope you can one day find the route I'm in. Cali, bless you. Oh, well, hey, thank you. I don't care. Like I said, I you can go back and look on my streams. I showed my Bentley order, my all my exotic cars I ordered, my property that I bought, and all the properties that I own in my portfolio, buddy. I like I said, it took me a while to get this, and yeah, a divorce did hurt me, and sometimes divorce can hurt you, but but my thing goes back to it is that you're not going to find a lot of success right away sometimes. And for some people, they look like they got there quickly, but they really didn't. They got there in 10, 15 years. There's a lot of work involved in each step. And according to the CIA, the more trauma you have, there's a certain amount of trauma you have to suffer in your childhood that will make you a certain level of success. And depending on what that is, can make you a certain amount of trauma. And it's like I said, look at Jeff Bezos. If you really look at the old picture of him, he was a nerd. He was definitely not a standout. He probably got picked on a lot and led him to build one of the most valuable companies in the world. Let me go back here because I got a shout out to Luis Garza. Hey man, could Quant switch from operation on ETH network, or is that something locked in forever? Um, I think coins can change networks. I think there's just a crap ton of work involved, but I don't think Quant has any plans to not be an ERC20 token. I think it's going to stay that way. Um, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you, Garza, again. Have you ever met anybody in the oil gas industry? Thoughts on a career in that field? I did actually work with a guy at Furniture Row when I was a sales manager. He actually came from the oil fields and was another sales manager. He did a lot in the Gulf. You make a lot of money, but you're away from your family for 6 to 8 months at a time, maybe even a year. But it's a very dangerous job. You can suffer permanent injury to your body, but they do pay you very well. We're talking starting like 120,000. And if you're a single guy, it could be a good experience for you to go do. And you can make a lot of money, put the money away, invest, and then you can leave the oil field. Or like when I was down in Florida, I met so many people making tons off of fracking. Tons. I mean, they were buying up houses left and right in Florida. You couldn't keep up with them, and they would just come in and drop like $1 million and buy the house like $200,000 overpriced. And that was 10 years ago, back when houses were average like 300, 400,000 for your average house on the beach. So, but it can be, but if you have a family, you really have to talk that out with your spouse to make sure that that is something that you want to do. But it is definitely a rugged industry. But I'll say this: every person I saw that came from the oil field was jacked, was just jacked out of nowhere. They would go in skinny and come back just jacked. So if that's what you want to do, you could definitely go do that. And shout out to Dirty South. Yep. Well, actually, I was making good money. I was at the time. I was making the most with. That was like right before 2009, or right before like 2007. So I was making some ridiculous money. Like weekly bonuses as a trader is sometimes up to $1 million, $2 million if you hit good. And everything was kind of like whatever you threw money at. And up to about 2008, you just made money off of. But a lot of people lost afterwards. But you make mistakes and you live and you learn. I'm trying to get you all in there. Oops. So, but shout out to you guys. You definitely guys definitely are making some good comments there. I'm 23 with over 100K. Don't have to post anything or say anything. You're just talking nonsense, buddy. When I was 23 years old, I was making $500,000 a year as a trader. You know, that was back in 2002. I was a couple years out of college. I was 2 years minted as a licensed trader with the Series 7, and I was working in New York City. It's like I said, but now being 23 with 100,000, that's pretty good because a lot of 23-year-olds spend their money pretty quickly and generally. But you can work at Walmart and have that money. Cody's a year younger than you, and he has about the same, working just as like a stock shower at Walmart, steadily investing as much as he can, works there, and I think he also works part time at like a gas station, like a 24-hour gas station type deal, a convenience store. So he make as much money as he can. All he really does is eat, sleep, and work. And he invests all the money instead of doing a lot of nonsense. So he's right on par with you. Like I said, what you have is quite capable. And if you went up to like San Francisco out of Southern Cal, you would see that there's a lot of people about your age making two, three, four, five, six, or some of them making $1 million a year coding. But a lot of them don't have it. Don't don't come off like they have a lot of money. And that's what I'm trying to get at is that you don't have to spend it to show it that you have it. And like I said, if you have only 100K in the bank and you spent 18K on a watch, that's probably not the good move. Like the watch should be 1% of your entire net worth. The car should be no more than 5%, the car plus maintenance. Your vacation home, no more than 10% of your net worth. That's when you know you can truly afford those things. And if, like 2008 happened, I had a lot of people that had a lot of things under finance and all gone. They jumped out the window. Like, it's I never saw them again. I turned, looked, they were gone. And that goes to show you got to make sure you do things at a slow, steady pace so that way you're not like spending everything you got to get there. Shout out to Luis Garza. Any thoughts on the XRP SEC settlement? We covered that earlier too in the stream, but yeah, it looks like it's coming to an end within the next. Some people are saying like mid June, but it could be July. Definitely within the year. But I think the SEC is kind of pinned up, and they threw some hail marys out there to get some cases going, so this loss won't affect their future endeavors in regulating and doing what they want to do with crypto. But I think XRP is going to win, Ripple's going to win, and we're going to see some good price action soon on it. Shout out to Big Dog. Hey, do you think buying football cards are a good investment? I don't think just any football cards are the current ones, but the old school ones, like people who are 40, 50, and 60 are buying those because they represent nostalgia, and people just can't get enough of the nostalgia. But you know what's crazy? If you're talking about cards, Magic the Gathering has been the most stable store of value for trading cards ever since. Like I remember the Black Lotus minted was like 20,000 in 2000, and now you're talking like 500,000 for that card. It's just crazy. Or it's like all the rookie cards that those guys came out really good. 10, I think one was like there was one from a pack. This was like 2002 where they had a piece of his game of like the Super Bowl winning jersey that the rookie wore. They took a little piece of it, put it into a card. They were called insert cards. It's now worth $900,000. Some of them are worth over $1 million. So it's crazy, and it's all because of just nostalgia. People just want something to go back to. So and like I knew a guy that I don't know if he still does it, but he had a sports card store and did all that and sold singles and everything. And he was making, and this was like the '90s, and he was making cash over fifth. Like just he was just getting bags of cash and just going to the bank. Like that's how much money he was making. He would buy them low, and then like in a couple of years he would put them on sell. Now this is when eBay was a real big thing, and he put on eBay and they would just sell like that and make a lot of money. Same thing with like old cars, like not even like the 50s and 60s, like 80s and 90s cars. They're starting to gain value because they're old enough now that they can bring back that nostalgia feel. And it's crazy, like the 80s T top Firebird. You can get a rusted out, burnt out frame of a 1984 Firebird T top for $2,500. It's not even you realistically you should only be able to get a couple $100 for it. But $2,500 for a frame, that goes to show you the nostalgia involved in those purchases and people making it into an investment. And that goes to show you anything can be made into an investment. Anything can be made into an investment as long as there's people that see value into it. Such as like Beanie Babies. They just came out of nowhere and then disappeared. But we've had a pretty long talk here. I'm kind of done talking about your favorite, your richer than your favorite influencer, or your favorite artist or rapper or hip hop star. Except for a few that started maybe like 30 years ago, they probably got money, like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, but a lot of them make bad financial decisions. I can't tell you how many people in private banking, when I was there in Bank of America, people would come in. They were NFL players, and the money would just disappear. Like we would think that fraud was going on. They'd just be pulling out cash or anything. Oh, how much is your membership? Well, we have $3 that you want to do if you want to join and support the Patreon. We're using all the funds to go do a studio specifically for this, and unfortunately, in order to get people's time, we have to kind of get them fly out here. And since I'm getting business owners and better higher net worth individuals, I got to have a certain level for them. So I'm not trying to buy stuff. I'm going to rent that stuff for them. So we're not trying to do that, but you can do our $3 membership. Go on the Patreon. New videos, specific Patreon videos are going to be posted on there. If you do the $50 one, you get access to one-on-ones. I'll help you analyze a portfolio, understand trading decisions, reading charts, things like that. And I'll show you my portfolio and what I do and how I adapt to market changes, how I handle losses, things like that. And I can point you in the right direction. Sometimes like it was yet a couple days ago, I had someone join in on the membership and join in, and I brought my financial advisor on to help them and get them, because sometimes you might have a one-on-one with like my accountant or my financial advisor. So user 8274, if that's what you like to do, you can go in and check out The Patreon video, the Patreon in the bio of TikTok, and you can go to YouTube, check out our videos before you join, see if it's right for you. But if you have any direct questions and you want them shout out here, just comment below on TikTok or comment on YouTube or Twitch in the chat, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. But with that said, like the painful thing is for me is when you guys believe this and get to my age and you've done all the things that these your favorite influencer said and it's not working and you're like, man, what am I doing wrong? And it's like you have the wrong perception of how money will grow. And even I'm well, let's see, what am I making right now? I think I can share the screen here. I'm probably going to make an estimated this year $838,000 roughly for this year off of everything. And I reserve a lot of cash for my businesses to help keep them afloat if need be. Or like we have another crash or something. Like I don't want to suffer like, oh, I didn't have enough set aside. Like I want to say, no, we can survive this for 10 years. I can pay everybody the same and just pay them not to work if I have to. That way they don't have to suffer because of degenerate bullshit going on in the market. But as far it's hard to say because like I see a lot of guys that are my age that made the misinformation mistakes, and now you're trying to play catch up at 40, and it's very hard. You at 40, you have to understand. Well, you're probably going to have to work really hard the next 10 years. Or if you haven't gotten a degree, you didn't learn a trade, you didn't do anything other than just entry level work for 20 years, now you're even more deep trouble because you have to work those jobs alongside other people who are younger than you and wondering why you're here at a labor job or an entry level job. So, and the best way to do that is get your skills, go work for somebody, try to excel up, get management experience. Places like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Walmart, Target, they'll pay you to go get a degree. They'll pay you. They'll especially if you perform well, they'll pay for like 2 or 3 courses a semester or a year, depending on which one. I know Bank of America will give you like up to $25,000 when I work with them. I don't know if they do it now or if they give more or less, but when I was there, they were giving $25,000 in tuition stipend to you. So they would just pay right to the college up to that portion for your tuition. I knew a lot of hedge funds were doing it, especially anything, even if you're doing continued learning, they would do it. But that's really, really, you don't want to be in that position where you listen to all this stuff and you don't want to be young and burn yourself out saying, man, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't be sleeping. I have to work. I have to work. Like, you gotta find out what works for you best and then work that. Because I know some guys that they work overnight. They like overnight jobs. They make a lot of money. They sleep during the day, and they're getting success and getting to that bag. But you don't have to worry. But you don't want to sit here and say like, look, I'm trying to do an Amazon fulfill. I'm trying to do an Amazon fulfillment store. I'm trying to do this. I'm doing that. You're like scatterbrained all over. Focus in. Focus in. Focus on one thing first. Let's get that one big thing built first. Then once it bears fruit, we can take the fruit off and start planting it and get more trees. And then you will have, when you're 40, 45, 50, you can say, okay, now I did all the hard work. I'm now in my top earning potential. I'm in like my top level executive position. I can just relax and go do something I enjoy or retire early or things like that. But it's like people, and I can tell you right now, there was one guy that really, really hounded me about not knowing what real wealth was. And then his influencer, it came out, the found out he was just flat broke. Everything was a green screen behind him. It was a very well elaborate green screen. Hasn't said a word to me since. It's like I've not only seen like new wealth, I've seen old wealth because I grew up in central New Jersey, right by Princeton, New Jersey. There's a lot of people that could trace their lineage all the way back to the founding fathers of the country. They don't operate like that. Yeah, they buy nice things. Some of them are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They got yachts, they got private jets, they got all that stuff. But they don't act or behave the way you think that a wealthy person does. And a lot of them don't wear branded, like luxury branded items. I think the most common thing is those damn Louis Vuitton luggage. But other than that, you'll never see, you don't see them with like branded logos. They're just basic stuff. Um, like my mentor, he was worth around 1.5 billion when he sold off all his businesses and everything before he passed away. And he just wore jeans and flannel shirts with no more, like they couldn't have been no more than $40 sneakers. But you would have never known that he was that wealthy just by looking at him. It's just one of those things. So I think we're going to call it a day on this one, but we really appreciate all you guys on the live. It was more like us ranting rather than you guys going in there. I did see some degenerate comments. A lot of you guys were going back and forth. I know we didn't really talk a lot about crypto on this one, but I really want to let you guys know when you make that money, don't don't try to do degenerate stuff with it first. Build yourself up to where you're using cash flow to get the things you want, not earned income, and that's how you're going to really win. Um, Shout out to Logan. Welcome in here. Hey, my day was going great. It's real busy, making a lot of money. Hope you had a wonderful day too. Glad that you're back in here. Glad that you're watching. Um, I really want you guys to understand to really be careful about, you don't like when you make your first million, it's not time to go spend it. It's time to put your how should I say it? Put your profits into something else to help generate more cash flow so you can keep reinvesting. Like I know the temptation is there, and I'm not saying don't get something that you really like. Shout out to HB. Lower your tone, buddy. I am what I am. Your volume might be too high, but sometimes I my voice carries a little bit. But you really just want to make sure you do things right, and there's a lot of things that are going to come your way, especially as your success grows. You don't want to think that you got to do what some of these influencers are doing, because you're going to burn out fast. Like I've seen people who inherited billions of dollars burn through it in a matter of 5 years. I've seen billionaires go negative $1 billion. Like I keep saying this, and it's like a broken record every stream, but it's money is like water. You need water. We all need money to survive. We all need water to survive. But money can flow like water. It can come in, it can go out, it can disappear, it can evaporate, it can fall through your hands, it can disappear very quickly. And a lot of it happens with degenerate buying. But with HB, hey buddy, love you too. Glad you came in and support the stream. Thank you for the share. Really like all your guys' support. Kind of a little late. I still got some work to do with my moving company. Got some final things to add in and file away. But thank you guys for all your support. Thank you guys for all your likes and shares. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have a personal question about finances, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. The link is in the description. You can message us there, and we can answer it there if you don't want it to air it out on live. But these are all open forums, so if you ever gain the courage, certainly come in. Cody and I thought about maybe doing like a call-in show once a week where people can go in. Do you know Bellhop? It's a moving company. I haven't heard of it, but there's so many moving companies. You'll be surprised at how, like, even if a moving company is like $100 million in revenue, you're still like small time. Like there's guys in here that have such great market share. It's impossible to notice a lot of little guys, but there are so many movers. It's hard to keep up with. Especially in my area, there's like over 100 moving companies from labor help only all the way up to full service. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes you hear about them, sometimes you know. But hey, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I'll do some research on it and talk about it on tomorrow's stream, on our crypto morning stream. And but thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Help us get to our goals. We're almost. I think we probably crossed the 1400 marker on TikTok. But if you guys can help us get to 10K, that'd be really great. Share us out to as many people as you can, and feel free to ask any questions you guys have about business, real estate, finance, crypto, stocks. We're definitely happy and here to help. So thank you guys. Can you say happy birthday to Mike Hawk? Well, if you're on the stream or if that's you, buddy, hey, happy birthday to you. Glad you made another year and you got another year to make some success happen. So come back on and just let's learn together and grow and help grow your finances together. With that said, guys, I'm going to check you guys later. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you tomorrow. Man, I had 1,039 viewers.